Welcome back to ZE Coins channel today. We are diving deep into one of the most misunderstood and fascinating coins ever produced by the United States of America, the 1966 Roosevelt Dime. This coin was minted during a time when America was changing fast. Wars, social movements, and economic shifts were reshaping the nation. And right in the middle of it all, this dime quietly entered circulation, carrying with it secrets that collectors today are still uncovering. Stay with me till the end of this video, because the final value may surprise you. Why the Roosevelt Dime matters. The Roosevelt Dime was introduced in 1946 to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt. He was a leader who guided America through the Great Depression and World War II. His fight against polio also made him a symbol of strength and resilience, which is why the dime became a tribute to his legacy. By 1966, the Roosevelt Dime had already become a familiar part of everyday American life. But the year 1966 was different. Something unusual happened at the U.S. Mint, and that difference is what makes this coin so special today. The strange minting year of 1966. One of the most interesting facts about the 1966 Roosevelt Dime is that it does not carry a mint mark. During this period, the U.S. Mint temporarily removed mint marks from coins. Why did they do this? The United States was facing a serious coin shortage. People were hoarding coins made of silver because silver prices were rising. To stop collectors from pulling coins out of circulation, the mint removed mint marks between 1965 and 1967. As a result, the 1966 dime has no letter under the date. No D, no S, no P. And that missing detail makes it instantly recognizable to trained eyes. Composition that marks the end of an era. The 1966 Roosevelt Dime was struck using a 40% silver composition. This was part of a transitional phase after the Coinage Act of 1965. Earlier dimes were made of 90% silver. After 1965, most circulating dimes switched to a copper-nickel clad composition. But in 1966, the mint was still using silver for certain issues, especially special mint sets. This makes the 1966 dime one of the last U.S. dimes to contain real silver, giving it both historical and material value. Design details you should never ignore. On the front of the coin, you'll see President Roosevelt facing left. His calm expression reflects leadership and confidence. The word liberty curves gracefully along the left edge, while the phrase "In God We Trust" sits neatly beside his neck. Flip the coin over, and you'll find a torch in the center, symbolizing freedom. Olive branches and oak branches flank the torch, representing peace and strength. The design is simple, elegant, and deeply symbolic of American ideals. Collectors pay close attention to sharp details in the hair, clean lettering, and a strong strike on the torch. These small details can dramatically impact the coin's worth. Special mint sets and collector appeal. Another reason the 1966 Roosevelt Dime is so desirable is its connection to special mint sets. In 1966, the U.S. Mint did not produce traditional proof coins. Instead, they released special mint sets with higher quality strikes than normal circulation coins. These coins were carefully prepared and often show smoother surfaces and better detail. Finding a 1966 dime from a special mint set in excellent condition can significantly increase its appeal to collectors. These coins often display a soft satin finish that experienced collectors instantly recognize. Condition is everything when it comes to coin collecting. Condition is king. A worn 1966 Roosevelt dime that circulated heavily may only hold its silver value. But a coin that has never been in circulation, with clean surfaces and sharp features, is a completely different story. Collectors look for coins with minimal contact marks, strong rims, and no discoloration. Coins graded at higher levels by professional grading services often attract serious buyers and competitive bidding. Errors and rare variations. One of the most exciting aspects of coin collecting is discovering mint errors. The 1966 Roosevelt Dime is no exception. Some known errors include off-center strikes, doubled dies, weak strikes, and planchet flaws. These mistakes happened during the minting process and were never meant to leave the mint. When such coins surface, they create excitement in the collector community. Error coins are unique, and uniqueness often equals value. Why collectors still chase this dime? The 1966 Roosevelt Dime represents a turning point in American coinage. It marks the end of widespread silver use. the removal of mint marks, and the introduction of special mint sets. Collectors love coins that tell a story, and this dime tells several at once. It connects history, economics, design, and scarcity into one small piece of metal. Whether you are a beginner or an advanced collector, owning a high-quality example of this coin adds depth and meaning to any collection. Where these coins are found today, many 1966 Roosevelt Dimes are still discovered in old collections, inherited coin jars, and estate sales. Some remain untouched in original special mint set packaging. Because millions were produced, people often underestimate them. But experienced collectors know that condition, strike quality, and rarity factors can transform an ordinary-looking dime into a prized collectible. Video is a deep dive into a coin that almost everyone has seen, many have spent, but very few truly understand. A small silver-colored coin that quietly passed through millions of hands, yet still carries hidden stories, collector fascination, and surprising value potential. We are talking about the United States of America 1982 P Mint Mark Roosevelt Dime coin. At first glance, the Roosevelt Dime might seem ordinary. It is small, light, and often overlooked compared to larger coins like quarters or silver dollars. But don't let its size fool you. This dime represents decades of American history, economic change, and minting evolution. The 1982 P Roosevelt Dime is especially interesting because it was struck during a period of transition at the U.S. Mint, a time when composition, quality, and production methods were changing. Before we explore value and worth, let's take a moment to appreciate the story behind the Roosevelt Dime itself. The Roosevelt Dime was first introduced in 1946, shortly after the death of President Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Roosevelt was deeply admired for his leadership during the Great Depression and World War II, and he was also closely associated with the March of Dimes campaign, which fought polio, the disease that affected him personally. Because of this connection, it was decided that his portrait would appear on the dime. Fast forward to 1982. America was experiencing economic shifts, inflation concerns, and changes in manufacturing costs. Coin production was focused more on efficiency than ever before. The Philadelphia Mint, which traditionally did not use a mint mark for many years, was now actively producing coins with higher output and modernized processes. The 1982 Roosevelt Dime with the P Mint mark represents this modern era of U.S. coinage. Now let's talk about the design. On the obverse side of the coin, you will see the familiar portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt facing left. The details of his hair, forehead, and expression may seem subtle, but collectors pay close attention to these features. The word liberty appears clearly, along with the motto, "I in God we trust." The date 1982 is positioned to the right, completing a clean and balanced design. Turn the coin over, and you will see the reverse side featuring a torch in the center, symbolizing liberty. On the left side of the torch is an olive branch, representing peace, and on the right side is an oak branch, symbolizing strength and independence. Above the torch are the words United States of America, and below it reads "1 dime." The P Mint mark identifies this coin as being struck at the Philadelphia Mint Point. One of the most important things to understand about the 1982 P Roosevelt Dime is its metal composition. Unlike older dimes minted before 1965, this coin does not contain silver. Instead, it is made of a copper core clad with nickel. While this means it lacks precious metal value, it does not mean it lacks collector interest. In fact, many modern coins gain value due to condition, rarity, and high grades, or unique minting characteristics. Condition is everything when it comes to modern coins. Most 1982 P dimes were heavily circulated. They were used in everyday transactions, dropped into pockets, purses, vending machines, and cash registers. Because of this, finding one in pristine condition today is far more difficult than it sounds. Coins that show no signs of wear, sharp details, full mint luster, and clean surfaces are highly sought after by collectors. Collectors often look for uncirculated examples, especially those graded by professional coin grading services. A high-grade 1982 P Roosevelt Dime can stand out dramatically from the millions of worn examples still floating around. Small details such as strong torch bands, crisp lettering, and smooth fields without scratches can significantly increase desirability. Another factor that adds interest to this coin is the possibility of minting anomalies or striking variations. While the 1982p dime is not famous for major errors, collectors still search for off-center strikes, die cracks, weak strikes, or unusual surface features. Even minor differences can make one coin far more interesting than another. Historical context also plays a role in collector appeal. Coins from the early 1980s reflect a period when the U.S. Mint was balancing mass production with quality control. This era saw changes in machinery and die usage, sometimes resulting in coins with unique characteristics. For collectors who enjoy studying modern U.S. coinage, the 1982p Roosevelt Dime is an excellent example of this period. It's also important to understand that value is not just about age. Many people assume older automatically means more valuable, but coin collecting does not work that way. Rarity, demand, condition, and collector interest all matter far more than the date alone. The 1982p dime proves that even relatively modern coins can be worth strong money when the right factors align. For new collectors, this coin offers an accessible entry point into the hobby. It is affordable in lower grades, easy to find, and rich in educational value. For advanced collectors, high-grade examples present a real challenge and a rewarding hunt. This balance makes the coin appealing across all levels of collecting, but if you have rolls of dimes at home or old coin jars sitting quietly on a shelf, it may be worth taking a closer look. Under proper lighting and magnification, a 1982p Roosevelt dime might surprise you. While most examples are common, exceptional ones are not. As we wrap up, remember that every coin tells a story. The 1982p Mint Mark Roosevelt 1 dime coin tells a story of American resilience, modern minting history, and the hidden potential of everyday objects. It reminds us that value is sometimes found where we least expect it, even in a coin small enough to slip through your fingers unnoticed. We're diving deep into the fascinating story, hidden value, and growing collector demand of the 1985p Mint Mark Roosevelt 1 dime coin. This is not just a piece of pocket change. It's a symbol of American history, precision minting, and the unpredictable magic that turns simple coins into treasures. The Roosevelt dime itself carries a powerful legacy. Introduced shortly after the passing of President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, the dime was created to honor a leader who guided America through some of its most challenging times. Roosevelt's face on the coin represents strength, resilience, and hope, values that still resonate decades later. By the time the 1985 dime was struck, the design had already become a familiar part of American daily life. But familiarity often hides rarity in plain sight. The 1985p Mint Mark dime was produced at the Philadelphia Mint, one of the most historic and respected minting facilities in the United States. Philadelphia coins often lack the dramatic mint mark seen on other coins, which causes many people to overlook them. However, experienced collectors know that subtle details matter, and the P-Mint mark era brought its own unique characteristics that make certain coins stand out far above the rest. What makes this dime especially interesting is its place in history. The mid-1980s were a transitional time for U.S. coinage. Minting technology was improving, production numbers were high, and quality control was changing. While millions of dimes were produced, not all were created equally. Some coins were struck with exceptional clarity, strong details, and nearly flawless surfaces. Others developed rare minting anomalies that collectors now search for passionately. The obverse of the coin features President Roosevelt facing left, his expression calm yet determined. On well-preserved examples, the fine details of his hair, jawline, and ear are sharply defined. The word liberty stretches across the left side, while the national motto rests nearby. On ordinary worn coins, these details fade quickly, but on high-grade examples, the design looks almost frozen in time, as if the coin was never touched by human hands. Turn the coin over, and you'll find the torch of liberty standing tall at the center, flanked by olive and oak branches. The torch represents freedom, the olive branch symbolizes peace, and the oak branch stands for strength and endurance. This reverse design is simple, elegant, and deeply meaningful. Collectors pay close attention to the torch bands, the sharpness of the flames, and the overall strike quality. Even the smallest weakness can dramatically change a coin's desirability, point, one of the biggest reasons the 1985 P dime has gained attention is condition rarity. While millions were minted, very few have survived in pristine condition. Most were used heavily in circulation, bouncing from pocket to pocket for years. Finding one with full detail, clean fields, and no major marks is far more difficult than people realize. That difficulty is what drives collector demand. Another factor is the presence of subtle errors and variations. Some coins show striking anomalies, alignment issues, or unusual surface textures that were unnoticed at the time of production. These small imperfections, invisible to the untrained eye, can transform an ordinary dime into a highly desirable collectible. Collectors love the hunt, and the 1985 P dime offers plenty of mystery. This coin also appeals to collectors because it represents an affordable entry into serious numismatics. Many people start their collecting journey with Roosevelt Dimes, slowly learning how to evaluate strike quality, luster, and originality. Over time, they discover that certain dates and mint combinations hold much greater long-term potential. The 1985 P dime has quietly climbed into that conversation. Market interest has increased as more collectors realize how few top-quality examples truly exist. Certified coins with exceptional grades are becoming harder to find, and competition among collectors has grown. When demand rises and supply remains limited, values naturally follow. This is basic economics, but in the coin world, it often takes decades for the truth to become visible. Another reason this dime stands out is nostalgia. Coins from the 1980s remind many people of their childhood or early adult years. Collectors are drawn to pieces that connect them emotionally to the past. Holding a coin from that era can instantly transport someone back in time, making the experience deeply personal as well as financially interesting. Collectors also appreciate the durability of the Roosevelt Dime series. Made with modern materials and precise minting techniques, these coins often survive in better shape than older silver issues. Yet truly flawless examples are still remarkably rare. That balance between availability and scarcity makes the 1985 P dime especially intriguing. If you ever come across one of these dimes, don't dismiss it too quickly. Look closely. Examine the surfaces under good lighting. Check the sharpness of the design and the overall eye appeal. Sometimes, extraordinary value hides inside the most ordinary objects. The story of this coin reminds us that treasure doesn't always come in gold or silver bars. Sometimes it comes in the smallest denominations, quietly waiting for the right person to notice its worth. Coin collecting isn't just about money. It's about history, patience, and the thrill of discovery that as collectors continue to search for high-quality examples and rare variations. The 1985 P Roosevelt Dime has secured its place as a modern classic. It stands as proof that even in recent decades, the U.S. Mint produced coins capable of becoming true collectibles. Today's story is about one such modern coin that many people still have in their pockets, jars, or drawers without realizing its importance. This is the story of the United States of America 2022 D Mint Mark Roosevelt 1 dime. A small silver-colored coin with a big legacy and an even bigger conversation surrounding its value and worth at first glance. The Roosevelt dime may look ordinary. It's small, light, and easy to ignore. But when you slow down and really look at it, this coin represents decades of American history, craftsmanship, and numismatic tradition. The 2022 D Roosevelt Dime is not just spare change. It is a continuation of a design that honors one of the most influential presidents in American history, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, a man whose leadership helped guide the nation through some of its darkest times. The Roosevelt dime was first introduced in the mid-20th century, shortly after President Roosevelt's passing. The choice to place his portrait on the dime was deeply symbolic. Roosevelt was closely associated with the March of Dimes campaign, a movement dedicated to fighting polio, the very disease that left him partially paralyzed. Because of this connection, the dime became a symbol of strength, resilience, and hope. Every Roosevelt dime minted since then carries that legacy forward, including the 2022 D Mint Mark issue. Now let's talk about what makes the 2022 D Roosevelt dime special. The D Mint mark tells us this coin was struck at the Denver Mint, one of the most important and productive mints in the United States. The Denver Mint is known for its high-quality strikes and consistent production standards. Coins from this mint often show sharp details, strong lettering, and well-defined features, all of which are highly appreciated by collectors. On the obverse side of the coin, you'll find a detailed portrait of Franklin D. Roosevelt facing left. His calm yet determined expression reflects the leadership and confidence that defined his presidency. The word liberty curves along the left side, while the national motto appears nearby, reminding us of the values upon which the country was built. The year of minting is placed clearly, marking this coin as a modern issue while still deeply rooted in tradition. Turning the coin over reveals the reverse design, featuring a torch in the center, symbolizing liberty. On one side of the torch is an olive branch, representing peace, and on the other is an oak branch, symbolizing strength and independence. This powerful imagery perfectly captures the balance of ideals that define the United States. The design is clean, bold, and instantly recognizable, even to those who are not collectors. Although modern dimes are no longer made of silver, the composition of the 2022 Roosevelt Dime still plays an important role in its durability and appearance. It consists of a copper core clad with layers of nickel, giving it that familiar silver-like shine. This composition allows the coin to withstand years of circulation while maintaining its design details when properly preserved. What truly elevates the 2022 Roosevelt Dime in the eyes of collectors is its condition. Coins that survive circulation without heavy wear, scratches, or discoloration can become far more desirable than their face value suggests. Uncirculated examples, especially those with strong luster and minimal contact marks, are often the ones that draw attention in the numismatic market. Even more fascinating are error coins and special strike variations. Occasionally, coins are produced with unique characteristics such as off-center strikes, double details, or die cracks. These errors are not intentional, but they can dramatically increase a coin's appeal and worth. A 2022 Roosevelt Dime with a noticeable and verified mint error can become a prized item, especially if it remains in excellent condition. Collectors are also drawn to modern coins as part of complete date and mint collections. Many enthusiasts aim to assemble full sets of Roosevelt dimes by year and mint mark. In this context, the 2022 dime holds its place as a necessary piece of a larger puzzle. Demand from collectors working on such sets helps support the coin's market interest over time. Another important factor is grading. Professional coin grading services evaluate coins based on their condition, strike quality, and overall eye appeal. A high-grade 2022 Roosevelt Dime, especially one that has been officially certified, can command significantly more attention than an ungraded example. Grading provides confidence and authenticity, two things that are extremely important in the world of coin collecting. Beyond numbers and technical details, there is also the emotional and historical value of this coin. It represents a modern chapter in a long-running series that has been part of American daily life for generations. The Roosevelt Dime has witnessed cultural changes, economic shifts, and technological advancements, yet its design remains largely unchanged, connecting the past to the present. For new collectors, the 2022 Roosevelt Dime offers an accessible entry point into numismatics. It is affordable, widely available, and rich in history. For experienced collectors, it presents opportunities to search for high-grade examples or rare errors that stand out from ordinary circulation strikes. For everyday people, it is a reminder that even small coins can carry big stories. As interest in coin collecting continues to grow, especially through online platforms and social media, modern coins like the 2022 Roosevelt Dime are gaining renewed attention. People are beginning to look more closely at their change, realizing that value is not always obvious at first glance. Sometimes it takes knowledge, patience, and a collector's eye to uncover what others overlook. The next time you come across a Roosevelt Dime dated 2022 with a small D mint mark, take a moment to appreciate it. Look at the details, feel its weight, and remember the legacy it represents. Whether you're a seasoned collector or someone just starting to explore the world of coins, this dime serves as a powerful example of how history, artistry, and value can come together in the smallest of forms.